That's such a delicate process. You don't want to give it too much gas and spit the ramps out, but you got to have enough momentum to get into the truck. Today, me and Callie are doing the morning chores, and then we're gonna head over to the winter pasture with the four-wheeler and run around that fence line just to make sure that everything's okay after the big storm that we had the other day. After that, I really don't have a plan of where this video is gonna go, so we'll just kind of have to see what time it is and what the weather looks like. That's what's going on today on Farmer Tyler Ranch. Well, they're always happy to see me, and actually today it seemed like they didn't really rush the wagon like they normally do. Usually when I'm trying to get the net wrap off, it's a battle because they are just grabbing the net wrap, trying to eat the bale while I'm trying to do that, and today they kind of left me alone while I was unwrapping it. So one of two things is happening. Either they've learned that it's just pointless to try to eat until I get the net wrap off, and I find it unlikely that that's the case, or number two, they're just not quite as hungry, so they didn't mind waiting for me to get out of the way. Looking around, I see a lot of scarring on the ground, and what that's from is Max, the property owner, has been dragging limbs out of here, probably whatever fell down out here in the oak tree grove. So more than likely he's already checked the fence and it's fine, but I'm just gonna go ahead and check it anyway. I'm down here on the south end of the ranch right now, and one of the things that I wanted to check on in addition to the fence was whether or not we had water inside the levee. In the last couple of days with all the rain that we've got, I've observed small streams and sloughs flooding. What I really worry about is the river coming up. When we get water up against this levee, that's when things can get a little bit dicey. But as you can see, it's all dry down here, and I think before I go home, I'll run down a little bit further south, because I know when the water does kind of crest out of the main channel and start to flood these river bottoms, it happens down there first, and then when it gets really high, that's when it starts coming back up here. So far we're dry, so that's good. But yeah, let's keep going. Oh, I see a branch down, and it looks like it's a fresh break, but I don't think this is going to be a concern for me. It looks like the way everything is weighted, it didn't crush the fence. It actually makes the fence a little bit better, and now that I look at it, no, this is not fresh, because you can see the berry vines have had a chance to grow on top of it already. So this has been this way for a couple of years at least. So this is a fresh down tree. You can just tell by where the wood's broken. It's a little bit different color. This tree was obviously not in very good shape. I think it was probably been dead for a while, but just hadn't fallen over. So it is right next to the fence, but as you can see, the main part of the tree missed the fence by a few inches, but it does look like some branches got it. So it broke the top wire and has smushed a little bit more. Again, the way the branch is sitting on the fence, I don't think this is an immediate concern as for cattle getting out, but this is something that I will have to come back and take care of at some point. I'm glad to say there's really not much to report here. A couple little things, but you know, there's always a couple little things, right? So nothing that needs immediate attention, and that's good because I've got some other things that probably do need immediate attention, so let's go do them. Me and Callie are back here at the ranch now, and I've got some fences that I need to fix, or a fence that I need to fix. But before we get into all of that, first I want to try to like clear some drains out here, see if I can get some of this water to drain out of here, because we're due for more rain tonight and tomorrow. So I need to get at least some sort of drainage going here, because right now everything just sits and it's not good. I've got an enormous puddle right here, and this is the one that I'm going to kind of focus on, and it looks like if I just do a little trench right here that we can at least get it started. Now I'm just going to walk down the length of the ditch and see where else it's plugged up, because I see the water is going in here, but it doesn't really seem to be going anywhere after that. So what it's supposed to do is there's a little trench here, and it's supposed to drain that way. The easiest way that I have found to find high spots or potential plugs is to just walk this trench, and you can feel it with your feet when you hit a deep spot or when you hit a high spot. I'll tell you what, the shovel work, it's getting old, and I've got a lot to do here. All this, you know, where the grass is green and tall, it's not blocked off anywhere, but it is probably not as deep as it should be to get a fast drain. So I've got an idea. I don't know if this is gonna work. This might end up being a terrible idea, but I'm gonna try it. Water's moving now. Huh. That actually worked really good. And dare I say, it was a lot more fun than shoveling. So I did notice down here at the end where I had to stop, I was kind of making a pile of dirt, because every time I stop, obviously I'm pushing a bunch of junk in there. So that's the one area that I will have to hit with the shovel, but that's not too bad. So the other day, I noticed I had two steers out here in this middle pasture where they should not be. And what ended up happening is somehow, some way, they blew through the hot wire and they blew through the barbed wire fence as well. I'm not sure what spooked them or made them want to do that, but as I think back, this is not the first time this has happened in this exact spot. So I don't know what it is about this corner, but they just love to blow through this fence. I've got a couple of T-posts that need to be replaced here, and I've got a bunch of wire that needs to be tied back together and re-stretched. And the reason why I want to get this done now is because I want to move my hot wire over a little bit and then give the steers access to this area to give them a spot to get up out of the mud. And if I just move the hot wire now, then this is the fence that will hold them, or not. So this needs to get fixed. It's starting to rain right now. I'm not sure how long I'm gonna stick with this. Hopefully this will not be too bad, but we'll just get done as much as we can. Yeah, we probably better replace that one. Wasn't in there very good, was it? So I always start when I got several wires like I do here. I like to do the top wire first, and then it's out of your way while you're doing the rest of them. So that's just the way I do it. All right, so we got our tail here. I gotta find the other end of this wire. So we'll see how many pieces it broke into. I think this is it here. All right. Yep, that'd be it. Oh boy. We got problems. Wowie. Look what you guys did. It hit that fence hard. Looks pretty tight. I like to pre-bend these. I just feel like they go together tighter. If you kind of get the two bends where they like just overlap, and then the wire just kind of naturally goes right where you want it. I made a video quite a while ago about this wire repair tool or stretcher or whatever you want to call it, and I think in that video I said it was my favorite fencing tool, and that is still the case. I love this thing. There's no way I could do this repair this well if I didn't have it. Well, what do you guys think? Think you can get through that? I take their silence as approval. So I got all the wire stretched and reattached. I still need to replace this post here, but Callie's giving me that look like she wants to go home, and all my stuff's getting wet, so it's starting to drizzle a little bit more, and I think it's supposed to get heavier before it gets lighter. So this is probably a good spot to call this project for now. All right, it's the next day and it looks like my drainage is starting to work. This is looking much better than it did yesterday. I'll throw a picture of what it looked like yesterday in right here. And you can see this puddle is almost gone. And what's even more impressive is that between the last time I filmed and today, we got another like ½ inch of rain. So we've had a lot more water come in and we've had a lot more go out. Something that I like to do when attaching wire is I do an extra step than what most people do, and I wrap this end of the clip all the way around the wire. And the reason that I do that is for in a situation like this, when somebody blows through the fence and busts the wire off of the post, these clips stay attached to the wire, and therefore they don't get lost in the grass where a cow sometime in the future could potentially eat it. When a cow consumes a piece of metal like that, could be a wire, could be a nail, a staple, whatever it might be, it's known as hardware disease, and oftentimes that is fatal. The fence looks about as good as I need it to, so the next step is moving the hot wire. We're starting to get some looky-loos here, but that's all right, because I think I'm done now. I think I can turn the fence back on. Well, now that I've got this hot wire moved over, we've got half the equation done. Now, I just need to figure out some sort of way to grant them access to this area. I'm not afraid to take boards down or cut a hole in that fence because the plan is to replace all of that this spring or summer anyway. So we'll just kind of go find the best spot to do it. Okay, where is a good spot? I'm kind of looking right here to be the best spot to do this because this old gate is already really the only thing that's structural here. So I can easily take the gate down and cut a section of these boards out, and then when I need to use this pen again, which won't be long, or this loading alley I should say, I can just put a panel up here, but it'll be the same way it's always been. So we'll do that. So my only concern about all this is that these steers have not seen a hot wire in quite a while. So hopefully they remember what it is and they don't just go running right through it. Once they touch it once, they'll be taught, but sometimes touching it means jumping over it. So we hope that's not the case. All right, buddy, you ready? Get out of that. They're all hung up on sniffing that gate. I should have moved that. I will. There, he figured it out. You gonna try it? Don't play with me, play with each other. Well, so far the electric fence is doing its job. I've seen 2 of them test it and they each got a good jolt because they jumped right back. So they're not challenging it, which is good. I'm hoping that everybody stays where they need to. If they don't, let's say the steers get in here with the calves, that's not a big deal. I can pull them back out if I have to. Let's say they get in with the cows. Again, not a huge deal. It's pretty easy to get them out of there. And I'm well aware that this new area I've given them access to is still wet. There is still mud out here. That's just the reality of what we're dealing with right now. The big advantage to this is that it has this elevated mound in the middle of it. And that way, no matter how much it rains, that's never going to be underwater. That'll always give them a somewhat dry, solid place to get up out of the mud and the water and lay down or do whatever they want to do. And if you just look at the way they're behaving, running around, fighting with each other, those are all indications that they're happy to be where they're at. So they clearly like this better, and I feel like right now this is the best I can do for them. So this is phase 1 of my grand plan here. The next phase is to bring a bunch of these wood chips and start dumping them in the working corral here. I think that's gonna help reduce the mud in the working corral, which will be better for the steers, but it will also be better for me and the calves when I separate out the ones that are gonna go to the sale. But I think we're gonna call the video here. So thanks for hanging out with me today, guys, and I hope I'll see you again on Farmer Tyler Ranch.